Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. We are back with a review. Why do I put this word in inverted commas? We'll get into it in 2 seconds, but we're going to talk all things Starlight Express, you know, that show. So if you want to know my thoughts and feelings on this show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So hello, welcome, hope you are all well. Why the inverted commas? Wow, it's been a long day at work. Firstly, and the reason for the air quotes is this: every time I see a show I try and make 2 separate videos on that show. In those videos we do 2 separate things. The first video we put together is the Nervous Guide video. The Nervous Guide is where I like to try and help with any sensory content and that kind of thing, warnings, basically sensory and content warnings. Also in that video I like to talk about my experience in the show and anything that I found with my seat and the theatre, so things like toilets, things like my view, that kind of thing, all gets wrapped up into a nice neat video which is usually about 10 to 15 minutes long. And then this second video we make is this one. This is the review. The reason I put it in inverted commas or air quotes or however you want to describe it is this: I am in no way professional. This is just how I felt about the show. I tend to give my shows star ratings. That is just a way to help put my video out there in a way. Basically 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is my star ratings. 5 being a oh my goodness you need to go and see this. 1 being a I'd maybe not think about it. But I always like to see the positive, so even if it's for any reason a 2 or a 1 star review, I like to pick out the good. There we go. That is longer winded than normal, but let's get into Starlight Express. That was a dangerous one to lift up really quickly because it is a chunky boy. We've discussed this in the Nervous Guide. It's an expensive programme and it's thick. But the show itself, I have been interested to see this show since its release into the Troubadour Wembley Park Theatre. I've had friends go to see it, I have seen reviewers go and see it, I have even seen it on the likes of the Royal Variety performance and went somewhere else, can't quite think right now, but it's been performed in different places, and every time I've seen clips or every time I've been on TikTok and I've seen some of the cast doing their thing on there, I've been like, oh my goodness, I need to see this show. This show originally was made in the 80s, and the long and short of this show is it is an underdog story about trains. The long and short of it, every person on the stage bar 3 are doing the entire show in roller skates. The 3 who aren't are the control, which in the Wembley production is a child, and the child just moves around the set either skipping, walking or occasionally on scooters, and then the other people on scooters are the marshals who do insane tricks on scooters, like flips, jumps, everything, and they're insane. Like I said, it follows the route of an underdog story of a steam train who is living in a world where there are other forms of train to take over the steam's light, if you will. There's diesel, there is electric, there is hydrogen, and the trains take each other on in races to see who is the best train, all run by Control, who in this production is a child, and that child is essentially sleeping in their bed whilst this is all going on. So is it a dream? Who knows? I don't know why I'm getting so in depth in this plot, because it sounds crazy when it comes out of my mouth. I'm probably not also explaining it the best, but that's by the way. When I came out of this show, I did say to my friend, it's kind of in a way like Cats, which is understandable kind of because they're both Andrew Lloyd Webber shows, but Cats kind of takes one central character, but then everyone else also has their time to shine, and everyone is introduced and they get their own individual songs, and then they're also part of the main plot. This is kind of the same, because you have the essential main central underdog of Rusty, but there is also characters like, there is Greaseball who gets their own song, there is Electra who gets their own song, so they are all introduced with their own songs. Even the freight trains get their own song, but obviously unlike Cats, this is all done on roller skates. For me, the highlight of this show is its cast. I will get into the creative side in a minute, but for me the cast was just insanely talented. Did I mention they're all doing it on roller skates? I am aware they all go through skate school before they start the production, or before they started doing the production, which is when they get taught everything they need to go and do on stage. But they are all super strong, super talented, super powerful. In our performance, when I went to see this show, there was 10 swings on, some covering as understudy tracks, others who changed their track from normal, if that makes sense. So there were a few people off doing their normal track, and swings came in and, as swings do, saved the day. Like I said, the cast were absolutely insane, and I could stand here or sit and tell you about every single person in this show and how insanely talented they were. I do have a few favourite characters. I'm just going to quickly mention those characters and the people who portrayed them. So my favourites were Dinah, who was played by Eve Humphries. I love Dinah as a character. Just the way that Dinah fawns over Greaseball, and just loved that character so much. And the song Uncoupled, or Uncouppled, was a highlight for me for Eve. Also loved the character of Rusty. I said recently in the What's on Stage award nomination guessing the winner video that I presumed, and rightly presumed, that he won the award for Best Professional Debut. And people in the comments of that video talked about how amazing he was and how talented he was and how young he was, and I am 100% in agreement with everything that everyone said in that video in the comments, because he was so talented and just a joy to watch. Also was a massive fan of the character of Greaseball. We had understudy on for that role, which was Laura Vina, and hopefully I pronounced that name correctly. I never want to ruin people's names. Laura was absolutely brilliant. Again, everyone was amazing. There is a bit of a, you've got to love Greaseball, even though Greaseball is a bit of a not so great character, kind of a baddie, kind of, but we all need them in the shows. And I also wanted to shout out Mama, who in our performance was a understudy, which was Jessica Vo. I really enjoyed listening to Jessica's voice, and yeah, I am a massive fan of everyone who was on that stage. I do have to say, I have a soft spot for the trucks. I loved the trucks a little bit too much. Freight is Great was going on in my head for the entire, ironically, train journey home that evening. I just like walking along going, Freight is great. Loved it. Loved everyone in the truck family, if you will. And the last person I just briefly wanted to mention was our Control. Control, as I said previously, is played by a child actor. In my performance, it was played by Elliot Norrington, but Control I really enjoyed the character of. I like how Control is also used not only to start and finish races, but occasionally just came in and did something a little bit funny. For example, in that song that I've previously mentioned, UNCOUPLED, I always want to sing it now. The role of Control brings out tissues for Dinah, and I was just like, that's genius. I loved it. I liked it. Well done. Talk about the creative side of this show. Firstly, let's mention the music and lyrics. Music which has been written by Andrew Lloyd Webber, and lyrics which were written by Richard Stilgoe. They are fun, and like I said, some of the songs quite catchy. Was a big fan of the Uncoupled song, which I'm not going to spell out again, but I really enjoyed that one. Like I said, Freight is Great was an earworm, and we all know it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're hydrogen. There are some songs that weren't as catchy in my opinion, but now I've seen the show, I will go back and listen to the cast recording. I always like to step into a show kind of blind, if you will, but I did enjoy listening to those songs. I also wanted to give creative gold stars to a few people. Firstly, the set, which has been designed by Tim Hatley. It was very cleverly done. The way the whole thing is set out is brilliant, and the fact that there is so many moving parts alongside the moving parts of the actors on their roller skates, very clever, and clearly time has been spent thinking on how to work it all out. Obviously, I was going to mention costume, which has been designed by Gabriella Slade. Some of those costumes were just amazing and insane. The fact that they look so structured but at the same time are able to move and mould alongside the actors, enabling them to skate quite easily around, is just a feat of genius. Also, I want to mention lighting by Howard Hudson. Not only the stationary moments, but things like during Starlight Express, when stars literally come down from the ceiling, I was just like mind blown at that moment. The same with when the show starts and it turns from being a small bedroom with a little mobile-esque planet scene to suddenly these massive planets coming from above. again, amazing. Whilst we're talking about set and lighting, also wanted to mention and pick up, as always, the video design by Andre Gording. I think every time I've seen one of the shows that he has done his design for, I have always picked it up because I just really enjoy it. Most of the video is done on the back screen, but it is so cleverly done and I really enjoyed it. Alongside the costume, I really wanted to mention wigs and makeup. Wigs that have been designed by Cambrel Young, and also makeup which has been done by Jackie Saundercock. Like I said in my What's on Stage predictions, the fact that they are turning human beings into trains and making you believe that they are trains is a genius, clever thing, and it is done so well. So like I said, creative gold stars all round. So in wrapping up motion, I really enjoyed visiting this show finally. As I did say in the Nervous Guide video, this show visually packs a punch. There is a lot going on. It is quite the spectacle, and although it's a lot, you can still embrace the whole show as a whole. From now seeing it, I understand why it's got so many nominations in the What's on Stage awards, and hopefully in other awards to come up. It was enjoyable for me. I kind of do in a way want to go back and see it further back in the what are they called, locomotion seats at the back, which are stationary and you can literally see everything. But I think I'm going to wait a bit before I go back, because there are so many shows that I need to see this year, and there's only so much time, especially every time I go to London I can only see about 3 shows in the space of about 2 days, otherwise I would explode. So there we are, all of my thoughts, my feelings and everything in between, all wrapped up in a nice 20-odd minute video, and hopefully most of it made sense. We never know with me. We're gonna see what happens. Thank you, editing. But yes, have you seen this show? What were your thoughts? How do you think I have missed anything out? Let me know in the comments area if you so wish, but I'm going to leave you be. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back for more theatre based fun next time, but that is pretty much that. I love you all lots, and all that's left to say is the usual, and that is this: so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen and goodbye. Bye.